Hello.
Hello. Everyone. I hope you have recovered well after DEFCON. Welcome to the PeerDAS breakout room number 12. So let's start with the client update. Anyone want to start? Mason?
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, so right now we have the PeerDAS branch, which is on top of the develop branch, and develop branch contains all the Electra changes. However, there is a lot of line of code, something like 20K line of code to merge. And so what we are doing right now is to slowly create some small pull requests from the PeerDAS branch to develop branch, reviewed by people in the Prism team which are not involved in PeerDAS, basically. And so yeah, we are slowly merging every change into the develop branch directly. And yeah, and so what I want to test now is to run PeerDAS on top of Spectra. I know we are not going to do that in the DevNet, but before running PeerDAS on top of Fulu, I want to test it on Spectra. And when it's okay, I will try to implement Spectra on top of Fulu. That's all for me. Thank you.
You mean full on top of Petra, right?
Sorry?
You meant the other way around.
Yeah, maybe I'm sorry. Maybe I mixed. Sorry. Maybe Teku?
Yeah, we are revising PeerDAS to both Electra and Full. We will be able to start everywhere in Electra or Full as soft forking in the at the start of the fork or everywhere in the middle. We will finish it at the end of this week. I hope already testing, already good. That's all.
Thank you. And next, Lighthouse.
Yeah, so we have not started the rebase effort, but it should be pretty painless due to the way we have architected it. We are currently focused on a V6 release in Lighthouse, but we will wrap this up this week and focus on this PeerDAS effort now. I think no substantial updates. We have still pending refactoring sync to make it more resilient, and I think some other bugs and improvements from previous tests. That's all.
Thank you. And anyone from Lodestar? Anyone from Gradient?
Yes, hello. So, Hang Leng from Fellowship program. He seems that they're basing on the develop branch. I think it's at this moment likely it's not clear. Is everything working all right? But I think once we will have a testnet, it will be much more clear of that. But yeah, essentially a large portion of rebasing is done.
Thank you. Do I have anyone from Nimbus? Probably not today. Okay. Anyone else I missed? I guess it'll be more productive to talk about DevNet first. Like Barnabas, could you give an update about to think with everyone about the current plan?
Yeah, so the current plan is to launch the DevNet on top of Spectra and not to do another DevNet with the previous spec, because everyone is already working heavily on the rebase. So I think it would be just duplicated efforts to do another DevNet now. So the plan is to have Spectra DevNet 5 specs finalized by end of this week, hopefully. We're going to be discussing this on Thursday on ACD call regarding 7742. Then hopefully we can launch Spectra DevNet 5 next week or maybe the week after that. And then we would probably want to have at least a week of stable finality before we can rebase on top of that spec all the PeerDAS changes. And then we could activate PeerDAS as Fulu or as EIP 7594 fork version and fork book. It depends on the client implementation, whichever is easier for them. But you can just define both of them, and whoever wants to ignore Fulu can ignore Fulu, and whoever wants to ignore EIP 7594 can ignore that.
Thank you, Barnabas. Does anyone have concern or question about this definitely timeline or plans? Okay. I guess the TBD is if we can launch Spectra as we expected. Right. Then any other questions about DevNet? Otherwise, we will jump to the spec discussion. Okay, cool. Any spec items we'd like to discuss today? I saw on agenda that Pop posted the
Yeah,
Decapo network one.
yeah. I would like to ask for a last call in this meeting, like because like it has been open for a long time already. So yeah. Is there any objection or is any recommendation to postpone it or if not, I think like yeah, we should move it now. Okay, okay. I
One
think
sum up.
yeah. So I think we can merge it now, right? Yeah.
I guess the maybe my question is, are we ready to include it to the DevNet, the incoming DevNet? Yeah, for the decouple
Yeah.
one, maybe can the client give us sum up about DevNet readiness?
I mean, right now we struggle to have a DevNet running with finality for more than 1 week. I'm not against this spec change, but I think I would like to see before merging it, and so before implementing it in the next DevNet. So before implementing it, I would like to see at least one DevNet running correctly for at least 1 week without losing finality. And yeah, that's why I think maybe it's not worth it to merge it right away and to integrate it for the next DevNet.
Thank you, Manu. Anyone has then or different opinion here?
And I saw Francesco ask a question about validator custody. I would argue the same. Before adding new stuff, a part of running as follow. Yes, I think we would like we would need to be as conservative as possible in order to be sure to have a finalizing DevNet at least once.
I mean, I tend to agree. Just wonder how much change it would be for the client teams. Yeah. Any other feedback? on the decouple subnet one. Feels like nice to have, and like 2 weeks later is it a nice is a I mean, do we have this bandwidth to include this nice to have? Then I think we could go, but I mean, at the moment for the stake, I mean, can the client team signal more about should we go or not here? I mean, I think things pretty simple signal it, but how about other teams? Like,
Teku, what do you think about it?
I don't know. We spent a lot of time of merging both branches, Master Electra and PeerDAS in the fork, and I would like to end this soon. But if I agree with you that current vector DevNet is not yet stable, and if we add to this our not very stable PeerDAS, it could be a mess. So I think I could agree on both.
how about Lighthouse?
Either way, it's fine for me.
How about Gradient?
Same. I think it's okay, both for us.
If so, I'd say that's merged. Okay. Okay. So, thank you. And the next item, probably the one that Francesco posted in the chat about the validator custody. Yeah, it has been a while. Does anyone wants to give an overview of any concerns or any support of this PR, or it's just good to merge right now?
I would say the same thing than for the previous spec change. I mean, right now we didn't have any finalizing DevNet. So I would like to, before introducing new changes, I would like to see at least once finalizing DevNet. I'm not against if every other client wants to merge this pull request, it's okay to me. But I just feel it will introduce an additional complexity, and without this complexity, we already struggle to have something working right now.
So, I mean, depending on how many validators are, what is the distribution of validators on nodes in a DevNet, then it should make it easier. But on the other end, you could just do the same thing by just having more super nodes or more nodes that do more than the minimum custody. So it doesn't really help in that sense. Like maybe if anything, it could even make it slightly less flexible. Like maybe, you know, now you need to pay attention to the validator distribution to like figure out yeah, the distribution of like custody requirements instead of just setting whatever you like. So yeah, I don't know. I can see an argument for just not doing this and just more ad hoc, just continuing to set a certain number of super nodes until we can get something that works. Like, I feel like this would be very helpful on mainnet. I don't know how helpful it is on, yeah, in actually getting to work on DevNets.
Yeah, that's fair. We could also, I guess, achieve the same thing by just doing a supernode only network.
Maybe I'm wrong, but if we do this validator custody on DevNet, I guess all nodes will become super nodes. Because basically every client, every node has a lot of validator attached. So if you do it, yes, every node will become super node by default.
Yeah, if it's like, I guess if I think 128 is the number after which everyone a node starts becoming a super node. So yeah, I feel like maybe it's a reason not to merge it and yeah, like it might actually make things harder on DevNets and less flexible.
I mean, these PeerDAS look like there's more design space for things to think about. So probably not for the next DevNet, but that's target on the next DevNet. Does that make sense?
I guess one question is, even if we're not gonna do this now, we should eventually figure out if we do want to do it at all, how do we deal with DevNets? Like, we don't want to just test all super nodes. So, I mean, I guess you could just sprinkle in some nodes that have smaller numbers of validators, but yeah, I guess so something like that would need to be done.
I think first we should have a happy case scenario where we do all super nodes and see if we can even get that working, and then move on to the next test. It can be iterative as well, so it doesn't need to be running for 2 weeks. But at least we should have like, I don't know, 5 to 10 days of finalization with all super nodes, and then we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, I really meant like eventually, like if you eventually want to merge this and still be able to test it in like a somewhat realistic scenario. But yeah, in general, right now I agree. I think we should just try to get something that works with all super nodes.
Any feedback?
I was just wondering what would be the right timing or process for merging these? So is it like we have first a DevNet, which is working with the current spec, and then we feel confident to merge these two, for example? Like for me, they seem to be things that we want to merge. It's just not the right timing. And I'm just wondering how we see the process.
I think usually we just try to minimize the number of variables. So if the DevNet was already looking great, then there would have been absolutely no objection to merge it. But the main reason there's hesitance is because we already are having a lot of issues with status quo. Do we want to add more changes? Because that's not going to make things easier. But yeah, in the happy case, for example, in Petra, the moment we have something working, we tend to start introducing more edge cases, more changes, and so on.
Okay, thanks. Maybe a bit of another question, another direction, but are the changes, outstanding PRs, or something that we would need to merge or specify better to make the DevNet more stable, or is it more really making the implementations interoperate?
We had a discussion during the DevCon about reconstruction timing.
Okay.
Right now, yes, I know at least Prism and Lighthouse do the thing differently. So both, if I'm not wrong, reconstruct as soon as I have 50% of the column, but Lighthouse reseed all the missing columns immediately. Prism waits from 3 seconds into the slot. It's an arbitrary value. And unless I'm mistaken, there is no spec no specification about the timing of reseed, if we should randomize a little bit the timing of reseed. Maybe it could help to have this timing specified.
Yeah, I think in the specification at the moment it's just saying that you can delay it if you want, basically. Was it identified as something creating issues, or it's more of a fairness type of problem?
No, I think there is, and I didn't identify any issue with that. But just, yes, talking with different talent team, I realized that yeah, everybody did things differently. Maybe it's not an issue. Maybe it's okay.
Yeah, so it's also under different scenarios, which we are absolutely not trying now, I suppose. Different strategies make more or less sense, and having the diversity might actually help make the network more resilient. So I'm at the moment I'm not sure specifying some behavior delay curve, whatever would make it better.
Okay. Sure.
Like it's so much intertwined also with the local resource decisions, what's prioritized, what's on a single thread, what's on multiple threads, etc., that, yeah. I'm just not sure what would be the optimal strategy under what conditions.
Yeah, I see. I understand.
Well, so I suppose we still have question to the PR itself. So just for the incoming release next week, we would probably, suspend this and then see if we can get it back on the next deadline. Okay. For the S3A71. Okay. And do we have any other open discussion topic? No. Like any other things we could help with the thinking logic to be more smoothly. No. Any updates of the distributed block building after DevCon? Oh, 7742. Oh, Gajinder is in the chat. Do we have the new proposal reading somewhere?
Yeah, so I think tomorrow on Thursday, we are going to decide whether we will include the change that I proposed in 7742 with regard to pushing the target to 4 as well as changing changing the computations for the base fee, basically normalizing the excess gas as well as pushing the main base fee to 2 to the power 25. So we'll discuss and take a call on this and decide whether we want 7742 with this change or just include 7742 as is, which basically means that the target and max doesn't change. There is no actual computation change on EL as well, because the current computation is also with regard to uh, 3 and 6. So uh, so so nothing really changes, and only Engine API now provides the target as well as in the block production max, so that EL can do the corresponding block building.
Thank you, Gajinder. So suppose we will make decision on Thursday, and if you have people here have time, can please view the EIP proposal. Anything else for today? No? No. Okay, thank you for your attending. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.